Hello and welcome to this R.S-Ness training on preparing your quality management system to the EU medical device regulation. We collected some best practices from a quality assurance perspective and key changes that you should be aware of. Let's start. So first, let's discuss the MDR status. As you all probably know by now, the medical device companies selling devices to the European Union are required to recertify all their products according to the new medical device regulation, as there is no grandfathering and all CE products have to be resubmitted. This also has implications for the quality management system in your company as a medical device company. So although mandatory implementation date, the official date of application, has been postponed due to COVID-19, there is still just enough time to make sure that everything is prepared as needed. So let's dig into what that implies to your company. So the scope of changes is very wide. The MDR has extensive details to consider. Let's start with just the scope. The MDD, the current regulation, has 20 articles, about 60 pages and 12 annexes, whereas the new regulation, the MDR, has expanded to 123 articles, over 175 pages, and 16 annexes. And I'll give a few examples of which annexes you should be considered about as from a quality assurance perspective. So first of all, the key chapter addressing quality assurance under the MDR is Article 10, Paragraph 9, and Annex 9. These list the general requirements of the quality management system from a manufacturer perspective. Many of them are aligned with ISO 13485, but not all are. So there is a technical report reviewing changes between the MDR and ISO 13485, and I collected a few samples that you should be aware of. Let's go through them. So first of all, now is an official quality management system requirement to have a documented regulatory strategy. Although it has been a good practice from a regulatory and business standpoint, now it is officially required from medical device companies. Second, there are changes in the risk assessment procedure. If you have your risk assessment procedures per ISO, now there are new requirements under the MDR. They are listed in Annex 1. There are many more details for the clinical evaluation as well as post-marketing surveillance. These are listed in Article 61 and Annex 14. Now these may take time to implement as they may affect additional clinical data collection, so consider them in your implementation schedule. The UDI, the Unique Device Identifier, is now slowly migrating to the European Union as well, after it has been implemented in the US for many years. Now, the official UDIMED, the database for the UDI, is not implemented yet, but it is required to have procedures in place, so you may want to consider your labeling procedures accordingly. There is strict details for all economic operators related to the manufacturer. That implies importers, distributors, new requirements for authorized representatives. So you should address, first of all, the contracts with those economic operators, as well as your procedures for supplier control. And of course, there are changes to terms and definitions throughout the quality management system that you should read in detail and be aware of. As you noticed throughout these changes, there is a lot more crosstalk between quality, regulation, and clinical, both in the risk assessment aspect as well as the post-marketing clinical follow-ups. So the next step moving forward, it is strongly recommended to perform a gap assessment of the MDR chapters as well as the detailed annexes to verify that all requirements were implemented in your quality management system. The next step is to identify which of these changes have implications on which of your processes and procedures, and then close those gaps with your stakeholders in the company. So we at R.S-Ness help support life science companies in QA, regulatory affairs, clinical affairs, validation and project management, and I welcome you to contact us to support your MDR transition. Thank you.